Joining us now from Johannesburg is John Carlin, who was the South Africa correspondent of the London Independent newspaper when Mandela was freed from prison in 1990. He is the author of 2 books about Mandela's life and times, including the one on which the film Invictus was based. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning.
I had a chance to read your article yesterday in the UK. It was really beautiful. You talk a lot about the last time you saw Nelson Mandela 4 years ago. What was he like then?
Yeah. Well, it was almost exactly 4 years ago, actually, on the 8th of December 2009, just before the movie Invictus was about to come out. I went to his home here in Johannesburg. He was sitting at the end of this very long dining room table on his own, eating his lunch. He had a plate of minced meat. And the truth of the matter is that he wasn't really very lucid. I mean, for most of the hour that I spent with him, he was enveloped in a sort of fog of old age. But there were 2 or 3 moments of fabulous clarity, as if suddenly he were a sage on a mountaintop, a mystic on a Tibetan mountain who was sort of in a trance, and suddenly sort of came out with a piece of wisdom. And what he suddenly said at one point was, my people, they thought that I was a coward, some of them, for talking to the whites, for reconciling with white South Africans. But they were wrong and I was right, because you see, today we have peace. And in that little moment of lucidity, when he broke out of the fog into light, in a sense he shone a light on the sort of central achievement of his life.
John, you were outside the prison gates the day Mandela was released. What was it like that day?
Well, it was a bit of a zoo, if you really want the honest answer. There was, the mass ranks of the world's media were there in force, plus, of course, lots of South African onlookers. And the best thing about that day was actually the moment when he came out. There's an image which I think anyone who was alive at the time or had the age to watch TV or see the images in the newspapers, that image of Mandela coming out in a very stately, dignified fashion, but also suddenly flashed that fabulous sort of 1,000-volt smile of his and raised his fist into the air in triumph. It was an astonishing moment. And of course, what was also fascinating about it was that even though Nelson Mandela was a very, very famous name, there'd been this worldwide campaign for his release over 10 years, no one had a clue what he looked like. No one really had any sense what sort of a person he would be. And it was only actually really the following day at his first press conference that finally, I think, the world understood that they really were in the presence of greatness.
Really a beautiful way to look back at his life. John Carlin, thank you so much.